Hi everyone, we're doing another stories again. It's not D&D, it's Apocalypse World.
No.
But that's a tabletop thing as well, and it's close enough. It only uses 6-sided dice.
Yeah, we're gonna have to start doing RPG stories rather than D&D stories.
Because we don't play much D&D at the minute, so
will be fixed. It will be fixed.
Yes.
But anyway,
a
long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
a long time in the future.
Yes.
On a place not too far away.
Not too far away. Probably America.
It was the game's set sort of Mad Max style. Like we're in a desert.
There was like a town that Vox was running.
my character was called Superior.
Yeah.
And he was in charge of this town, and it was it a big town or a small town? I can't remember.
It was like a medium-sized town. There were some really big towns, like there were cities in the world, but like you had a pretty big sort of frontier town.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was running it again, so I had to deal with these shitheads again.
Yeah.
Basically, this was the hardest campaign to run. It was a one-shot session.
It lasted like all day.
But we had it all day. There were like 8 people.
Yeah.
Something.
Marin wasn't in it.
Marin wasn't in it, but we had like a lot of other, like another group I used to play D&D with. They joined us for it, and it was like a big day sort of thing. And we were all sitting in my living room, and I was hunched over a like laptop at the front. But yeah, it was absolute chaos because we had 8 different characters, all of which's motivations didn't line up in the slightest.
No.
So essentially, just turned into anarchy almost instantly.
Yes, because I basically my character was in charge of a town, so my prerogative was to protect the town and keep it prosperous. And we had these other characters that had like come in on a convoy of like a bus, a bike, a Vespa or something.
Yeah. There was a little Vespa. And there was like the magician. We had a magician who was just there to entertain, but caused all kinds of havoc. And yeah, it all started. It started in a bar,
yes,
or a club.
Yeah, club.
Was it in your town? I can't remember.
Was in my town. Yeah. We were all in a club. So we only in the part of the story is that my particular town, the only like existing music that it had or any sound was this one piece of Arab techno.
Oh no!
We'll put a link to it in the description. But we basically found like a loop.
We found a 10-hour loop. Arab techno. It is. If you're not going to click the link, it is one of the most irritating, repeating things. It's like it's like a horn. I don't know, like
yeah, there's like horn sounds in it.
It's like a kazoo. It sounds like a kazoo. The way they've edited it, it's like someone's playing a repeated looping tune on a kazoo, and we had this going for 10 hours, all day, while I was trying to deal with this shit.
Yeah, we had it was supposed to be like the siren of the town and the music that played in the club. So we had it playing when we were all in the club, and we never like turned it off.
Never turned it off. It stayed on.
And by the end of the day, like after I left, it was in my head, but I needed to listen to it. It was weird.
It's a drug. Don't listen to the 10-hour loop. You'll die.
But yeah, it felt weird when it wasn't there.
We were changed men after that.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically, we're in the club. That horrible kazoo tune was playing.
I hadn't met the other characters at this point.
Yeah, you were just basically there dealing with current affairs in the town, sort of visiting the club, etc.
Yeah.
And it all just went to chaos from there.
There was these troublemakers that were like from a club that was down the road.
Yeah, because basically, to like motivate the story to move on, and like, because it was meant to be like a tavern introduction, and then I had like all these thugs burst in and cause trouble. Is essentially meant to deal with that. All the while, like the magician character was flailing about doing a magic show on stage and had captivated most of the club at that point. And I can't remember, did he get in a fight with one of them?
I don't remember that.
Because I seem to remember something involving someone got stabbed with a spoon.
That rings a bell.
Yeah, because I think Harvey was like, the magician character was played by Harvey, was producing like magical implements and things. He produced a spoon out of nowhere, and then the troublemakers started like heckling him or something, and he started attempting to duel them with a spoon, and then that was when you stepped in.
Yeah, because like there was troublemakers. Like normally you'd like arrest them or whatever. My character was kind of fed up because I think this was his club, and he just got his revolver out and popped him in the head,
and it just all went to shit from there. Like a gun went off. One of them just dropped instantly, got shot in the head. Then the magician got grabbed by one of the other troublemakers. I think they were trying to use him as a hostage, but then he stabbed him in the eye with a spoon. And then one of the other characters, who's like Ray El Custo, who was this like weird gang leader from like outside the town. He'd one of the ones that come in the convoy. He just dived out of a window into a trash can because his ability was to escape every situation, like inexplicably. Because Apocalypse World, you have like certain kind of funny abilities that you don't need to roll for really. They're just quite situational, and his was just escaping. So it made him kind of invincible, but also his character wasn't a combat character, so it was kind of really balanced. He was just jumping out of windows and hiding all the time. So he leapt out the window. I think everybody else started shooting at that point.
Yeah.
It was absolute chaos.
And I think what happened from there was that when I arrested everyone?
I think that was like, I think you were okay with people then because they helped you fight. But I think the magician was getting cocky with you constantly, and you were getting wound up by him. You didn't arrest him then. But then I think everybody went outside to the bus. I'm not quite sure what transitioned into that because we did play this a while ago, so memory is a bit sketchy. But you did all end up sort of around the bus outside when someone came in a like sports car and smashed into said bus. So basically there was a traffic incident in the middle of town, and then you waltzed out at that point, and that's when I think you started going power mad because Harvey got cocky with you again. That you were just like, no, I'm not having this.
I think because I would look ahead. Because the magician hat was a showman, he had this really cool long coat.
Yeah. And
I was like, I want that. And I was like, look, if I tell you what, I won't arrest you if you give me your coat. And at that point, he didn't like that, so he was trying to run away. And then he ran into the bus, so I chased him into the bus. It was almost like slow-mo because I was like, oh, do I shoot him, do I not? And then he decides to try and jump through the bus window to escape, and I end up shooting him, and he gets knocked out, and sort of we get a guard in and whatever, and I take the coat off him, and I just look at it, and it's like, and then I realised what I'd done, and felt like so much of an arse. I was like, oh.
Yeah, I really emphasised that the coat was drenched in blood at this point from the gunshot wound.
And I was like, you can keep it. And then when he woke up, it was like next to him or something.
I think it was over him, and then he started freaking out because there was blood on it.
The bullet holes.
Yeah, that was a mess, an absolute mess. And then I don't know how I even motivated you to go do something. But I was like, oh, there's raiders outside town or something. Yeah, because it was you. I was basically I was trying to make Fox the story drive for this and be like, right.
Because I think everyone was in prison at this point. They were all in prison, but they like said they'd help.
Yeah, because you were like, you came to them and were like, there's raiders outside town. If you come help me deal with this, I'll like pardon you type thing. Because like to drive the story forwards. So that ended up in them all having to go and do this. Because it's like that, at that point, it was basically just holding people to gunpoint to get them to do the main quest. Because nobody was doing anything useful. And then you headed out with the big convoy. And that was when like the big gunfight happened.
Is this where I get the armour?
This is where... Because you had armour. You had armour from the start, but you didn't equip it till you went on a mission.
Yeah, because my sort of special ability as the town leader was that I can pick any power or special thing that one of these other characters have, or the different types of characters you can have, and pick that for my own. So I chose juggernaut armor,
which I was like, yeah, fine. That sounds pretty strong. You know, it's not too bad. It's probably just good armor.
Yeah. I think I went into battle, put on my juggernaut armor, had this, and grabbed one of the machine guns in the guard barracks or whatever.
Yeah, because there were guns in the armory.
And essentially just like mowed a load of them down.
Yeah, because basically what essentially happened was they started firing on the bus, everybody started panicking and taking cover, and then Vox just stepped off the bus and started firing at people, and he got like a couple, and I was like, oh, that's fair enough. They all fire back, and at that point he was like, uh-oh, they're all going to shoot me. And then it became apparent they couldn't hurt him.
Yeah.
Because his armor was so good that just the submachine guns they had couldn't do anything to it. So he was essentially just standing there taking all the bullets, firing back and killing them all. It was horrifying. So really this whole, oh, come and help me deal with this raider thing was completely unnecessary, because he could just step off the bus and kill every last one of them.
I mean, there was a reason I was leader of this town.
Yeah, no one's going to fuck with you. It was horrible. He was like, everyone's dead. Yeah, essentially, like, that was one of the quests, but it very quickly derailed, because I think I wanted you to go to one of the big main towns and help them or something, because they
like
had
a farm was,
it was
in
like
trouble.
Yeah, it was like a bullet farm. I was kind of doing like proper Mad Max style, and yeah, I think Chris's character Ray El Custo, he had some issues, and they had him kind of by the balls on it, so it sort of crept into your town, the issues.
Yeah.
Because I remember he went off on his like Vesper at one point to do a deal with some people, like an arms deal, and then it really backfired, and like his entire gang was shot dead instantly, because this was like a side quest that I ran for him briefly. His entire gang was shot dead. He only just escaped with his escape bullshit.
Yeah.
Well, like, I think he died and fell in a sinkhole or something, and then managed to get out. Like, it was ridiculous. He's just got so many loopholes for escaping. But then he got back to town, but obviously those arms guys weren't happy about like the double cross, because I think Ray tried to double cross them. So then that all came back to the town. So yeah, because it was a thing of like, you were gonna go to the town to. I was gonna do a thing like, oh, you need to go to the town, and then they'll give you a mission, and you'll do that to be like, oh, we've earned our pardons for what Ray did. But you guys just declared war on the town, basically.
Did we?
Yeah, because you got hold of a tank.
Oh yeah.
You ended up with an APC. I can't remember how you ended up with it. I think you hijacked it. Because basically it became very quickly apparent you could kind of kill everyone there. Because, like, was it you and...
Did I want to, like, take the town for my own? Like, as an as part of my raid...
Well, I don't know what quite happened. I don't know how roleplay it was, but everyone just seemed to go on a suicide mission to wipe this town off the face of the earth. And they pretty much did it.
Yeah.
Because you lived by the end of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you were at the gate, like, keeping watch, and you sent the magician in, I think, and Ray as like an emissaries, because Ray was the one in the shit, and the like magician went with him. And then they went to meet, like, the big boss of the town, and the boss had this whole great speech. And then, because, no, there wasn't any of that, because the magician had an ability where he could take off clothes, and everyone would love him.
Oh, yeah.
And it became the cheesiest shit, where he asked for everybody's clothes. He put on layers, so he was, like, a giant, like, snowman of clothing. And then... he walked up to the front gate with Ray, started, like, taking off a layer at a time.
Yeah.
And just all the guards didn't do anything, because they were like, oh, he's so handsome. And he just walked right up to the main guy's room, and they killed him, didn't they? Yeah, they fucking killed him. That's what all this was. They killed him, and then you all got in the shit for it, because they were like, radioed in that their leader was dead, and they started trying to kill you. You killed all of the guys at the gate, stole a tank.
Oh, yeah.
And just, like, leveled the town. Yeah, because it was basically like, he killed the guy, him and Ray both killed the guy. Ray leapt out of a window and made a like glorious escape. And then the magician continued walking out, taking more layers of his clothes off.
Yeah.
Until he ended up with no clothes, because he ended up on the roof with no clothes left, and the guards facing him, and he was like, "Oh God, what do I do?" I think he ended up jumping off the roof onto the tank, because you guys were at the gate, and it all kicked off. Everyone started firing. You did your usual juggernaut suit, kill everyone.
Yeah.
And then like somebody jumped. Yeah, because there was a kung fu guy as well. One of the people was like a martial artist, and they jumped off the gatehouse onto the APC that had just arrived, and then hijacked it, and you all got in.
Yeah.
Like the people at the gate got in, and then that was driving around.
Yeah, because then like we brought it back to my town. It's like we have an extra weapon now.
Yeah, you have a tank, because you guys just survived fine, and the whole town was in ruins. Because you just started driving around, and I was like, oh, APCs aren't that great, but literally nothing could hurt them either. and then like another APC came for you, and you killed it.
Yeah.
So like, it was just chaos in that town. I think the worst story that happened there was Rael Cousteau's, because he ended up like hiding in a woman's house.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Killed her.
Yeah.
Took her clothes and assumed her life. Because he was in the house with this lady, and she was like, "Get out my house, get out my house." But then he annoyed her so much, she went psychopathic, grabbed a machine gun, walked out into the street, and started shooting the guards. Because like everything was kicking off outside.
Yeah.
I think
is this in that?
it's in the town, in the big town where it all kicked off.
Was this not in the later town?
This was in the final city where you had the tank and everything.
Yeah.
Because it all basically went straight to that
after
city.
that there was like one more city and they started getting angry at us or something because of what we've done.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, no, because I think it wrapped up there, because I think it was that final city, and I was meant to do a quest line there, but you guys just turned it into a firefight, which lasted till the end of the session, so I just left it at you guys drive off in the APC into the sunset.
Yeah,
with like half the party dead. Rael Cousteau impersonating a woman for the rest of his life.
Yeah, we were just like ploughing through the tin houses and everything.
Yeah, because you ploughed through her house.
Yeah.
That was it. You would like, there was gunshots going on. Ray had broken into her house, suddenly realised, and she was like, "Who the hell are you? What is happening?" And then a tank rolled through her house, and then she just went, "I'm sick of this shit. I'm not doing this anymore. No." And it was basically me. I was projecting my DM's fury at the lack of any kind of motivation onto this woman. She grabbed a machine gun, walked out into the street, started firing at the police, took about 2 of them out, and then got dropped. And then Chris Rael Cousteau just impersonated her for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
Just assumed her life.
And we drove off into the sunset.
And you just drove out of the town, leaving it a smoking ruin, with like all the police dead. And just drove back to your town, because they're never going to fuck with you again.
Yeah, that's pretty much the entire campaign summed up.
It was horrific, but glorious. Like, it's the pure example of players having complete free reign and just chaos occurring. Because they were like, "Oh, we were going to attack the town." I was like, "Is that such a good idea?" And they were like, "Yeah." And then it turned out to be a really good idea, because they could just kill everyone. As soon as you got that APC, there was nothing anyone could do. It was an incredible campaign.
Well, I'd like to play Apocalypse World again at some point.
Yeah, slightly less broken, maybe with less people. But yeah, because I have played it before. I played it before that point, where I played like a big Arnold Schwarzenegger character called Beans. He was funny. Like, that was good, because that's when I played it originally with the person who was playing Rael Cousteau and some of the other guys that were there. Like, because I played with them prior. I used to play D&D with them a lot.